Good afternoon, everybody. I am ready for a pretty interesting show this afternoon. I hope you are too. As you can see, I've got my microscope. Well, actually, you can't see. Over here, I've got my little microscope, which allows me to give you images like this, or to do a combo like this, where I am able to show you exactly what this coin looks like. So let's get right down to it. Let's examine this little girl. She's got a little bit of a rim hit there. She does have a little bit of a slice over there on the side. A small little surface nick, not even a nick, more of a scuff there. Alright, we do have a little bit of chatter mark there, and a very small something there. Otherwise, that is a pretty clean looking 1985. I just saw another one right down there by the 9, between the 9 and the 8. Relatively small. I would call those insignificant, with the exception of this one. That's the worst one I see right there. And on the obverse, well, that's unfortunate. A glaring little nick there. And a few little surface rubs there. Alright, otherwise I'm not seeing a whole lot not to like. I mean, you do have that one little minor thing there, but that really is the only major defect I see there. So, let's go ahead and sell this one, shall we? $19.85 Libertad. I will put it back on the microscope. And we will start this one at $1. Let me get my auction settings together here. There we go. All right, and we are live. And welcome in to all the new buyers or the new viewers. I see a bunch of names I don't recognize. Hello, very nice get, my friend. All right. Whoop, that one's coming from over here. All right. All right, here's what I'm gonna do, gang. I've got 3 more of these 1985s that I broke open this morning, if you saw my earlier stream. And then I've decided I am going to crack this bad boy. A sealed Blanchard tube of 1982s. First year Libertads, mintage of a shade over 1 million coins. This tube is sealed, has been for quite some time. And we will open it and we will scrutinize the coins just like I am doing right now. And then we will put them up for auction. So, what does this one look like? Not too shabby, actually. A couple of small little hits, maybe, but not half bad. Let's see what she looks like under the magnifier. Alright, first thing I want to draw to your attention, obviously you do have a couple of little things right there, but look at how fully formed that face is. That is a beautiful strike. Got a very small little pinhole there, a small little scrape there. I think that's more toning or some kind of a stain than anything else. And then that minor thing right there. But otherwise, look at how well formed that face is. Oh my goodness. You rarely see that. Now, let me see if I can do this without completely screwing everything up. Alright, so the answer is apparently yes. Okay, so now, if I turn that off for a minute, look at how well formed that face is. That is just stunning. Now you do have a little bit of rub on her tummy, a little bit of something going on right there. You've got that minor little thing going on there. You've got a minor thing going on there. Very minor thing going on there. That looks like about the worst thing. A very small one there I just noticed too. And a small one underneath her foot. I don't see anything really bad on this coin that I don't like. I mean, that is all pretty much expected wear. So let's get you back to an almost full coin view. And turn the turntable back on. There we go. Alright, so you've seen the reverse. Here's the obverse. And that looks pretty decent. You've got a small little something there. You've got a very small little rub there. Wow, otherwise I'm not seeing a whole lot. Alright, there's something right there. If there's something you guys see that I am missing, please point it out to me. Alright, I didn't just notice you got a very small rim nick going on over here. I'll show it to you when it comes back around. Damn it. It's like right here. Right there. Very small. Another very small rub there. So, alright, I gotta tell you, I like the obverse of this coin better than I like the reverse, but the reverse is where the titties are. So it's hard not to like the reverse of these coins. Alright. Oh, damn. I cannot seem to find the sweet spot for the turntable here today. Alright, I think that's going to be close. Or at least as close as I'm going to mess with right now. So, here we go. We'll send this up. Alright. You know what? I'll do a 30-second option this time. We'll start at $1. And we are live. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a good Saturday afternoon and have an appreciation for Libertads, because we've got some very cool stuff going on today. I've got two more 1985s after this one, and then we are going to open a tube of 1982 Blanchards. Dillo, you're doing well today, my friend. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, let's do the last two of these. And there we go. Alright, so doing a quick look overall at this one. Yeah, I see a couple of minor bruises. Doesn't look like it's too bad overall. Obverse looks relatively clean. Maybe one or two minor hits. Oh, there's a little scratch up there. But that's why we put it over here onto the microscope turntable and see what we can see. So we do have a little bit of a scratch right there, and we've got a little bit of surface rub going on right here. A little nick there, small little scuff there, and whatever that little spot is there. A little bit of buffing, rubbing marks there. Hey Thick, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Otherwise, no, I don't really see too much I don't like. So, all right, we got one more after this, and then we'll crack that tube of 82s. Here we go. Whoops, there we go. All right, and we are live. I made it 20 seconds. Happy medium. Hey, P-Sist, how you doing, buddy? So I'm just curious, since I can't see it the way you guys do. Jose Vaz, very nice. Nice get. Does the coin on the microscope show off well, like from the main page, if you hover long enough to see the video? I'm just curious what that looks like from the home screen. Yes, that was a steal, but that's all right. I understand that we're still early in the stream, and these are the 85s, which, you know, honestly, they have the second highest mintage of the entire Libertad series, at least so far. And, you know, for those that may not be educated into the Libertad mintages, you know, the 85 has a whopping mintage of 2,017,000. All right, now the only mintage higher is the 92 at 2,004,500. But even at 2.5 million coins, for a relatively modern coin struck in 1992, I mean, come on, that's nothing. Now, when you contrast that with an American Eagle or any other bullion coin, I mean, there's no comparison. They mint a ton of those every year. Wow, that looks remarkably clean. All right, this is the bottom coin on the roll. And so far, I'm loving the way that looks. And I gotta say, that's looking pretty dang nice too. But the final test is over here to my right. For those that are new to my stream, welcome to my microscope. Look at this. Okay, now, you've got ridiculous luster. You've got some very small superficial scuffs. That one down there may be a little bit more, but I can't tell till I see it in the other side of the light. And that's why the turntable is so wonderful, because when you see the different light hit it, you can see that that's a little bit more of a significant scuff, but it's not really a slice. She does have a little bit of rub on her chest, a little bit of a rub on her arm. And man, otherwise, I'm not seeing a lot that I don't like. A little bit of toning starting to form down here. Look at this. A little toning going on down here too. So I'll let that one spin for another second or two so you can get a real nice look at it. But again, that is the bottom coin of that 1985 roll that I opened up on my 10 o'clock stream this morning. All right, now the other side looks like this. And she's looking pretty. We do have a small little hit up there at the top. Hang on, it's coming. You've got a small little ding there, and then more of a rub. A little scar there, and more of a rub here. I'm looking at the body in here. There's very minor superficial stuff. That looks like the biggest thing we're going to find. If I'm missing anything, all right, there's a kind of a hairline going on there. If I miss anything, everybody, please let me know, because unlike some of the streamers on the platform, I point out the flaws. I use my camera and my lighting and the fact that I used to be a photographer, so I understand some of this technology better than others might. I know how to get the lighting just right. Instead of using those skills to hide the flaws like I used to do when I was shooting the pretty girls that wanted modeling portfolios, well, now I am bringing out the flaws. I am not trying to hide them. I am trying to show that coin in all its glory, warts and everything. So let's sell off this last 1985 at a $1 start, and we are live. Whoop, wait a minute. What happened there? What? Hang on. What the hell? You know what? Whatnot drives me up a wall. Alright, that hopefully will fix it. Right? Okay, now can I sell one? Alright, it looks like it. Alright, we are live at $1. The last 1985 before I crack this little beauty. And for those that know Blanchard Libertads, you know. Megalton, thank you. Nice get, Megalton. Alright, hopefully you guys will be a little bit more receptive to these Blanchards. Now, one last reminder, well, probably not last. I do have a YouTube channel that you can watch later tonight when you're ready to go to bed. One of the videos I have out there talks about how I opened up one very similar to this. I opened up a tube of 1983 Blanchards, and in support of that, I went ahead and kind of did a deep dive on the history and significance of the Blanchard Company when it comes to Libertads. Now, why am I not able to focus you? Oh, because I'm doing the wrong one. That would explain it. Hold on one second. All right. That's the camera I want. There we go. Now, let's do right about there, I think is good. Okay, so what you're going to watch is, first of all, I will give you another good look around the tube. All right, there is the top, 1982 Blanchard, brilliant uncirculated. The seal is intact, and the tape has that beautiful yellowish color with age. You've got the Blanchard logo. And this is exactly the tubes that they used to use back in the day when they were putting these together. I appreciate it, Thick Brick. Not a problem, my friend. But yeah, so if you are familiar with these, you know that Blanchard has a reputation for literally being extremely picky with the coins that they would put into their branded tubes. They knew their name stood behind it, and that was their reputation. They were not going to screw that up. But they were also basically the ones who were almost singularly responsible for putting Libertads on the map here in the U.S. So, this represents their very first stab. I'm not selling the entire tube, Meggleton. These are going to go individually. I'm going to open these one by one. I will put them on the microscope. Over here, we'll take a detailed look at each one, and then they will go up for auction. Oh, no worries, my friend Justo. I appreciate you, my friend. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and crack the first one. Oh, the empty tube when done? All right, I don't know. I'll figure something out. No, it's... Oh, look at that. There's some toning on that. It's kind of like King Tut's tomb. You know, I don't know if I really want to inhale too closely that pyramid dust. Yes, Thick Brick. That was exactly the tube that I had, or the roll, I should say. There is a difference. Obviously, this is a tube. And again, because they were so persnickety about quality and preserving the quality of these coins until they reached the buyer, they were not content. Unfortunately, I don't have another one that's in the original bank wrapper from La Casa de Moneda, but you know, it's all silver, and it's basically just a paper wrapper like that, but it's got a little more glitz, and it's got the Banco trademark and logo and all of that fun stuff. But Blanchard understood that if these were going to go anywhere and get shipped, well, damn it, you certainly wanted to protect them a little bit more than that. So that's what they did. And, you know, they earned their reputation, rightly so. This is probably like the 5th or maybe the 6th Blanchard tube that I have opened up so far in my numismatic career, and I will say that every single coin that has come out of a Blanchard tube, even if it has a minor defect, like there's a small rim nick over there, have been spectacular. And it's hard to see it on this camera, but there's also a little bit of toning going on. But that's one of the other cool things that I can do as far as my microscope is concerned, is I can let that autofocus do its thing. Okay, autofocus, now you got to do your thing. Well, it's trying, but regardless, look at this. I don't have any information, Nordster, on Blanchard doing anything other than the Libertads, at least in the early 80s like this. Like I say, they were among the first ones to put Libertads on the map in the United States. Nobody knew what the hell they were until Blanchard came around and started marketing them like crazy and becoming known for their quality at the same time. Again, on my YouTube channel, I've got a nice, excuse me, I've got a nice deep dive into the Blanchard company and why their rolls carry such a premium that they do. Look at the toning on that coin right there. My goodness. A little bit of rim toning out here. All right, I'm looking for imperfections. There's a couple of minor little scuffs there. A little bit there. Look at the toning going on, man. Oh my goodness, look at all this in here. That's just sick. All right, you do have some surface rubbing going on here. The face is actually almost fully formed, not quite. But I don't see... Well, Nordster, unfortunately, I don't have any peace dollars here, or I would take you... Well, actually, I do, but it's a newer government version, so a grade, you know, it should be at least a 69. I don't have a raw peace dollar that I could really go through a grading process with you on. But this is what I do for my coins. And if there is a PCGS photo grade or guidebook on it, then I will show that as well. Now, I'm looking for imperfections on the obverse of this coin. And again, other than minor rubs and little surface contact, I see almost nothing wrong with that coin. There's a small little ding right there. But again, this microscope and this lighting is the only reason you're even able to see that. There's another small little something in there. Very small contact mark. But man, that surface is remarkably good for a 50 or 40 some odd year coin. But again, look at the surface toning on that. Oh my goodness. All right, gang. The first 1982... Wait a minute. Let me get rid of this. All right. Because then I don't have to worry about getting those confused. Because otherwise I would. All right. The first 1982 Blanchard Lib with toning from the top end of this tube. $1 start. We are live. I mean, if you get that one graded and that slab comes back with that kind of toning, you're looking at a nice little payday. Megleton, thank you very much. All right, let's see what else Blanchard has in store for us, shall we? Yes, 1982 was the first year. And the mintage was just under 1,050,000. Yeah, not the prospectors. Oh, that's unfortunate. There is a little streak on that one through Plata Pura. And I gotta say, that is probably the worst Blanchard I've ever seen. Man, otherwise that looks pristine. But we show them, including the warts. So here you go. And again, you know, without having the light and the magnification, you wouldn't even necessarily see some of this. But there's some light hairlines in there. That's the one I saw. Let's see just how bad it is as it hits the light. We'll know how deep it is. And there's also one up there. All right, so you've got a little dig there. Yeah, you got another little dig there, which is unfortunate. Like I say, that's the first time I've seen a Blanchard 2 coin that actually had that much damage on it. And while I don't consider it catastrophic, That's not what I have come to expect from Blanchard. So we'll see what the rest of the roll looks like. But again, look at this. The obverse, I'm seeing almost no issues. Just some minor rub marks. Just toss it in your bag, Dillo. I hear you, my friend. That's about it, too, right? You know, very minor little rim hit there. Another little scuff on the rim over there and down there. Looks like maybe a small little hit there too. But again, you know, until it spins on the microscope and you can see it, I wouldn't have even known that. So, you know what? I want to do this because you can't even see that it's a 1982. And I want you to. There you go. Now you can see that. Whoop. Ah, I like that so much more better. Okay. Yeah, the die polish lines are not considered damage. Hang on, that's kind of what those hairlines are right in here. Those are die polish marks. Okay, that is not wear or post-mint damage like that is. Oh, I hear you, Justo. I'm so happy for you, my friend. You've got to let me know how they grade out. All right, let's run the second one. Here we go. $1 start. We are live. Last roll had them too. Had what, Mopar? A toner or some with some scuffs? The original bank wrap from the Banco de Mexico or the La Casa de Moneda, they're not as well protected. Hey, Mike, how you doing? How's your brother? Or is he already in here? You know, the original bank wrapped rolls are little more really than a cardboard tube and don't really provide any more security or you know, protection for the coins, especially if you get a loose tube where they can move around when you know, shake it. That is bad news when it comes to taking care of your Libertads. Now, like I say, Blanchard had the right idea. They put them in these tubes, and if you've ever opened a Blanchard tube or had one in your hand, you know that they fill that tube very, very well. There is very little extra room in there, and because of that, they don't have a lot of wiggle room, so they tend not to get a lot of contact marks and hits from being in the tube quite the same way that the original bank wrapped ones do. So let's see what the next one looks like. Hopefully this one will make it up to us, because that last one had an unfortunate little streak in it. Alright, I'm seeing a couple of very minor. There's one little scratch above the O, or above the 1. We'll investigate that mark above her head. That might be a little deeper. And the obverse actually looks remarkably clean. So, let's get a better look at this young lady. All right, so we do have a little bit of a ding going on there, a little bit of a ding there, a very small one there, small little hairline there, small little hit there, little armpit hit, a little bit under the teta. Those are more scuffs than actual damage, except for that top one, I think. Which one was it? This one? You'll see it when it comes around in the light. There you go. It's this one and that one a little bit. That one, those are more superficial right there. And then you've got that little line there. A little bit of stuff going on there. And that little one there. Little body hit. Alright. Obverse looks like this. Alright, you got a little bit of a contact mark there, a little bit of a rub there, Doesn't look too bad otherwise, gang. Am I missing something? Call it out if you see it and I don't. Just that and that. Little bit there. Alright, here we go. Buck and go. We are live. Megol, thank you. Alright, gang, those are going for a little bit lower than I can really afford to let them go for, so I may have to hold off on those for the time being. We'll do some barbers. Or actually, if you want, tell you what, I've still got a bunch of these Liberties, so we can run some of these for now. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'm sorry, Smoking. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit on those. I can't let those go at $41. I mean, you all know me. I'm not one to whine or complain or put guilt on anybody, but I cannot let those go at that price. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna hold off for the time being. And if that means I don't sell anymore today, so be it. But you know, I don't know what else is in there yet. You know, the couple that we've had so far, or the three, I guess, that we've had so far, have not been pristine, not up to my typical Blanchard standards. But still, you know, 41 on these, given the price of silver, the premiums are just way too high on those for me to let it go for that. Alright, this is what this little girl looks like. And I may need to tone down some of that light. There we go. Alright, so we've got a 1943 with actually some real nice gown details going on. Little fold detail, even down here, some of the higher points. Which is interesting, because she's obviously seen better days. She's got a lot of wear on her. And same thing as you would expect with the eagle breast, given what the other side looks like. All the high points have been hit pretty hard. But otherwise, not a bad looking coin. So, this one I have no problem doing a $1 start. Whoop, where am I? Did I not put these in there? I sure didn't. Alright, you know what? Give me 1 second. I hate it when I forget to add something. Alright, so that's going to be an auction. Boom. Okay, coins and bullion. Photos. Where am I? Where is a Liberty? There we go. That'll work. Close enough. Okay. Alright, we're almost there. Give me a second, gang. Alright, I'm gonna say we've got 50 of those. Oh, for crying out loud. Too many different things you gotta fill out here. It gets nuts. Alright, that works. We'll go with that. Alright, are we finally ready to post this stupid thing? It looks like we are. Whoops. There we go. All right. Failed to publish. Okay, I knew that. I knew that. Now leave me alone. And, oh my God, did we finally get an auction? Yes, we did. Look at that. All right, here we go. $1 start. We are live. 43p. Mike, thank you. All right, where are you, Mike? There you are. All right, let's do another walker. Ignore my cat, because I'm going to. All right, there's, yeah, exactly, Justo. There's a 1943 Philly. All right, I'm not going to put this one on the turntable unless you want me to. All right, here we go. $1 start. We are live. A la esquiar, Herr Kommissar. Mike, thank you. All right, let's do this. Let's do another one of these Kyle Kirkwood Andretti IndyCar reverse proof rounds. And I'm curious just how that will show up on the microscope. So what does that look like? That's actually not half bad. Okay, I can't say I'm upset about that. Now, it's not the bison, it's not the eagle, but look at that. The mirror is so beautiful that you can see the ring light from above reflected in it. I mean, that's just sick. All right, here we go. One ounce Kyle Kirkwood, reverse proof. Buck and go. We're live. Mike, thank you. I guess it's my own fault. I figured the theme of today was 80s Libertads. We'd go with an 80s theme for the music. And I shot myself in the ass because, of course, Duran Duran is like one of the more popular bands of the 80s. They were certainly my ex-wife's favorite band. I shouldn't say that. One of three. It was excuse me, it was Duran Duran. It was Depeche Mode. And it was the Pet Shop Boys. Exactly. Thank you. I could not agree more. Now, see, that's funny because my first date with my ex-wife was a Dodger game. I lived in LA at the time, so I got really nice seats, and I took her to a Dodger game. The second date I took her on was to a Boston concert, and she had no idea who Boston was. But by the end of the show, she was on her feet, dancing, swaying to the music, kind of like a Boston fan. And until we fell on bad times, Boston was like her favorite band. So, all right, we do have a small little nick going on in there. A little bit of scuffing more than anything else, it looks like. I don't think that's very deep. A little bit of minor scuffing again over here. Over here. Doesn't look too deep, everybody. Am I missing anything? Point it out if you see something I'm not. The rim looks pretty clean all the way around. I mean, this is really about the worst of it. Well, there's a little bit of a surface break right there. And right there is a small one. But most of them are scuffs otherwise. I love this coin. That is a great name. Welcome. All right, now, the obverse looks like this. And wow, that is a pretty looking coin. I'm not seeing a whole lot wrong. Some very minor rim nicks around. Maybe a minor rub mark. Another kind of minor chatter mark, hairline. Yeah, obverse is usually a little better protected. Sometimes it's hard to say. But yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of impacts on that coin on that side. And the other side, honestly, is looking pretty decent. So again, for a Blanchard coin, that is right about what I would expect to see from them. A very nice quality coin. So, all right, let's see what we can do with this one. Here we go. We are live. That is a pretty coin right there. And I'm not sure, but I might have seen another one with a little bit of toning down there. We'll see what that looks like in a minute. Smoking, thank you. You have not yet purchased this show. Smoking tokens. Now, are you token and smoking, or are you smoking and token, or it's just a toke smoke? Joking. I love it. Yeah, exactly. Whoop. Okay, so my focus went crazy, didn't it? Let's see if we can reel that back in. Oh, come on, camera. Hang on. I got it. I got this. I got this. Where is it? What camera am I? Oh, that's why. Wrong camera. Hold on. Downside of having multiple cameras. And there we go. And not being able to control the one you thought you were controlling. All right. Let's take a look at the next 82 Libertad. Okay, there is a little bit of a bummer going on above her head there, and a small one there near the O and the 1. couple more little scrapes over there under Plata Pura. And as usual, it looks like the obverse is the winner of this battle. Alright, here we go. Let's check her out in a little bit more detail, shall we? Alright, camera, you're freaking killing me here. What are you doing? Can you focus? There you go. I knew you could do it. Alright, so what we've got is a little bit of impact here. A little bit of hairline going on there. Another little one going on there. A little bit of a scrape there. A little bit of an impact there. That's the worst one I'm seeing. A little bit of scuffing or rubbing on the body and the wing up here. That doesn't really bother me. That's more superficial. That's the only one that really impacts more than just a little bit. That down there doesn't bother me. That one's almost significant, but Alright. And then again, the obverse looks like this. Alright. We will start at $1. We are live. Thank you, Smoking. Oh, and I almost forgot. As I'm sure you guys know, Whatnot, for some reason, probably from server storage, but for some reason, Whatnot no longer keeps my old streams available for anybody to look at the way they used to, which, you know, is frustrating, I guess, but I don't have anything to hide. And I used to enjoy the fact that my old streams were available. So what I do now is I am, for instance, recording this live stream. Even though I'm broadcasting it, I'm also recording it to disk at the same time. I will post that on my YouTube channel later. So again, when you're looking to go to bed tonight and you need something to put you to sleep, you can throw on this live video and listen to me drone on and on. And if that doesn't put you to sleep, well, you got bigger problems than I can solve. That's all I can tell you. All right, the next one of these. Oh, I appreciate it, Smoking. All right, these look more like those are hairlines than anything else. We'll get a closer look at it in a minute. But again, you know, because I'm about transparency and honesty, I want you guys to be able to go back and watch my streams and understand what I do and why I do it. And I'm actually working on a video right now talking about my microscope and why it has raised me to the next level. Whoops, sorry. And how I'm able to make great use of it. But I've already upgraded this one, even though it's less than a couple of weeks old. The other one is bigger, better, has more functionality, also has the autofocus, which I'm in love with. All right, this has got a little bit of a scratch there. That is a little bit of an impact. That's more of a hairline. That's a little bit of an impact scratch. And you got a little bit of a hit right there that I just saw. And those I don't think are a big deal. You know, surface rub, you're going to see that on any of these coins, especially if they came out of a tube. And then the obverse is got, you know, the same kind of surface rubs. That one may be a little bit more significant. Yeah, there's a little bit of a hit right there. I don't think that one goes below the surface. That's more of a surface rub. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything else that bothers me. Yeah, those are more superficial than anything else. That one looks bad, but I just think it's a bigger surface mark. All right, here we go. Let's see how much you like this little lady. $1 start, and we are live. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Mike, thanks for getting him in here. Appreciate you both. This is a tube of 1982 Mexican Libertads from the Blanchard and Company. Justo, thank you, my friend. I should have also mentioned that Oingo Boingo was also one of my ex-wife's ridiculously favorite bands. Although I gotta say, I had absolutely no problem with that. Them I don't mind. Them I don't have a problem with. That did not drive me up a wall having to listen to. And Danny Elfman, oh my God, you want to talk about a musical genius? Some of the crap he's come up with over the years. Not to mention, let's talk the Simpsons theme. I mean, it's not like this guy is a slouch, okay? And Oingo Boingo, I mean, let's face it, again, music genius. Alright, there's a few little marks on this little lady, but that doesn't look half bad overall. Alright, let's see what she looks like under a little bit of scope action, shall we? Alright, how bad are these? Looks like we got something a little bit below the surface, but it's almost superficial. It's only when the light hits it just right. Same with that. It's a little more than superficial, but not much more. Alright, that looks like it's actually below the surface, but just barely. That's a surface rub. That's a surface rub. That's a surface rub. Alright, there is a couple of indentations there. When it comes around, you'll see it. Alright, here you go. They're not really bad, but they are below the surface. And that one wants to be, but didn't quite get there. Alright. Backside looks like this. Boy George, yep. Wham was another biggie. Boy George I wasn't thrilled with. Wham, actually George Michael's, again, a musical genius, although some of his stuff was a little bit syrupy and sick, but alright, those are more superficial. There's a small little ding in there though. You got a small rim hit right there. Superficial. Alright, you do have a couple of minor hits on the breast right there. And a small one right there. Otherwise, looks pretty darn nice to me, gang. What do you all think? Would you kick this lady out of bed? We'll find out in a minute. Here we go. Buck and go. We're live. Man, that's a pretty coin. And out of curiosity, again, I don't spend a lot of time as a buyer on the app, but Mike, thank you. How many people on the platform as sellers have microscopes like this that they're utilizing? I'm guessing not many. All right, Mike, where did I put you? There you go. Zero that you've seen, yep. Looking to get one? Well, I'll tell you what. I've actually got a video I am working on, and it's funny because I spent the last couple of weeks not really trying to do an advertisement for the company because, bottom line is I'm not yet sponsored by them, although I have no problem with it if they want to sponsor me. But the reality is it's a company called, I think it's pronounced Elikliv, Elikliv. Here, I'll try to give you a little bit of a better shot at it. Whoop, where is, oh, I'm zoomed in too high, that's why. All right, so what you've got, whoop, there you, oh, I went past it. This is why the lag drives me nuts. Okay, Elikliv, Elikliv. Now, this is their what is it? I think it's M4K-AF or something close to that, because it's a beast. I mean, this thing is an absolute rock star. It gives you the ability to do what I'm doing right now, but more importantly, it's got autofocus. So when I take a coin like this and put it on the microscope, in the past I've had all kinds of issues with getting crystal clear, sharp focus. Well, needless to say, that is no longer a problem for me, because no matter what I throw at it, it will automatically focus. And the problem I have is because I like to use my turntable, whoops, not that view, because I like to use the turntable on the bed of the microscope itself. The turntable is like, an inch or an inch and a half tall. So it raises the platform just enough to where I'm not able to get the full coin on the screen all at once. I have to adjust it or take it off the turntable, and then I can get a coin this size all the way. Now, I've only had this one a couple of weeks. I'm already upgrading it because the reality is that limitation drives me up a wall. And what I will be able to do is bolt it to the side of the table over here and then have it swing in and out whenever I need it to, so that it will be out of my way until I want to bring it in. I can bring it all the way out here, focus over a coin right in front of me instead of way over here off to the side. I will also be able to raise and lower the platform without literally having to go back here, loosen the thumb screw, and bring this all the way down. Now, like I say, the nice thing about this is that it autofocuses all the way down. I mean, look at that. All right, so now you can truly get a feel for what that coin looks like. The problem is I cannot adjust it on the fly without literally having to manually adjust it. And in the middle of a live stream, that sucks. So my newer version is basically, all right, this is an 8-inch, or I think it's 8.1 inches the screen is, or it's 8 inches, I forget exactly what it is. The new one has a 10.1 inch screen. And because I will have the ability to literally raise and lower it at will and have it autofocus just like that, that should be a game changer. So, if any of you are interested in upgrading your microscopes, I would highly recommend the Elikliv. Again, I'm not yet sponsored, but I wouldn't mind being. If they're listening, wink, wink, hit me up. But look at how beautiful I can show off this coin. And when I'm able to show the whole thing or zoom in and out when I want to, that's when it gets real special. All right, a couple of minor little scuffing over here. I'm not seeing a lot. That's about the worst I see. Little chatter mark right there. Very small little impact there. Small one there. Little hairline going on there. Hard to tell if that's a mint dye polish, because it's almost, yeah, that's a dye polish. That's almost imperceptible unless it's in the perfect light. And then the other thing I've done, gang, is I've upgraded my computer, although it's not here yet. This poor little laptop is struggling under the strain of everything I'm doing to show you these coins in this kind of detail. So within the next week or two at most, I should have the new machine, and that will up my game that much further. Not just here, but also for my YouTube channel. So, you know, that'll be nice. I'm really looking forward to getting that in and being able to reconfigure everything and just do it the way I want to be able to do it without the limitations I'm facing right now. All right, here we go. Another 82 Blanchard Libertad. $1 start. We are live. Man, that's a pretty coin. I just love the way the luster shows off on this microscope. I'll show you in a minute what the difference is. Smoking, thank you. But, all right, check this out. Okay, if I turn off the overhead light, wow, you lose a lot of that clarity, don't you? I mean, that turns it into almost just a flat image right there. Same thing, if I turn off the side lighting, all right, now that is only the light that is over here next to my table. But even if I up the light that way, directly on it, it doesn't show the coin the way I've been able to show it. So again, hitting it from the side makes all the difference in the world. But what really makes these coins pop, right here, that overhead view allows you to see the frost, the luster, the hairline dye polish marks, absolutely everything on the surface of that coin. And when I'm able to zoom up and down at will and have it continually focus, I will be one happy streamer, I assure you of that. And I think you will all be happy buyers, because you'll know even better what these coins look like before you bid on them. All right. I think I showed the obverse of this coin, didn't I? Maybe not. I got so excited there for a minute. All right, is that just a spot or is that a hit? I can't tell yet. I think that's just a spot. We've got some hairlines going on down here. A very small impact there. Yeah, that's just a mark. That's not a hit. Wow, the obverse of this coin looks beautiful. All right, here we go. So enough of my demonstrating and yabber jabbing. Let's go. Buck and go. We're live. Now, the new microscope does have one very minor downfall or shortcoming that I have figured out an ingenious workaround, or at least one I'm very happy with. Hey, Raz, how you doing, bud? Good to see you again. Give me 1 second and I will show you. Let me put Raz in a bag before I forget and get sidetracked. All right, so the downside of the new upgraded microscope is that the new version, instead of having a built-in ring light, which is literally right under here, it has an exterior ring light all the way around the lens, which is fine. I love ring lights. As a former photographer, they're awesome. But what also helps me set these coins apart is this beautiful, self-contained, flexible side lighting that allows me to put these coins under this kind of light. So the new microscope only having the ring light, I will literally lose the ability to have that beautiful side lighting. So what I've done is I took my old microscope and I took the stand off of it. Smoking, not a problem, my friend. I appreciate you. Go be a father. I'll see you next week. But now I've got a standalone platform that allows me to do my flexible side lighting anytime I need to. Then I can swing my new microscope platform literally right here on top of this with its ring light and really show off a coin in all its glory. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait for the damn thing to get here. I think it'll be here Monday, so I'll get to play with it for a few days before my next show. So that'll be wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully you guys will bookmark my shows and tune in to see just how well it works. All right, we've got a very minor little nick there. A little surface rub here, a little minor nothing there. That's really not very big. That's more of a chatter mark than anything else. We do have a little rim hit there. Not horrific, but it's there. A little bit of hairline stuff going on there. But again, if I didn't have the side lighting on, you wouldn't even see that. Actually, it's not side lighting. It's this one that you wouldn't even see that very well. So, you know, again, having the lighting, having the technology, understanding how to use it, and then figuring out how to put it all together on Whatnot and OBS and Stream Deck and multiple angles and the whole 9 yards. That's the challenge. All right, here we go. Buck and go on this beautiful little lady. We are live. 1982, first year Libertad, Blanchard Company. Oh, I'm sorry, did I not show the back? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, the good news is I don't see a whole lot wrong. There's a couple of minor little scuffs there. Meggleton, thank you. A couple of little minor rub marks here. I don't see anything breaking the surface though, so okay, good. My luck, I sell a coin without showing the back and it's got like a horrific gash through the middle of it or something stupid. But no, that one doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, I feel better now. Hopefully you do too, Meggleton. No, my apologies, guys. Whoop. You know that is generally not the way I do things. But every now and then I get excited, especially when I'm talking about tech. I mean, I'm a former techie. I used to be a senior programmer analyst in a former lifetime. Then I spent time as a more of a hobby photographer, but did a lot of work as a hobby photographer. Whoops, not that view. Where am I? Here we go. And then got back into this. Yeah, exactly, Justo. We all forget things at times, especially when you get to be my age. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. All right, there is a little bit going on under the Pura over there. We'll check that out in a minute. That doesn't look half bad. All right, let's see what we think under the scope. Whoops. That's what I should be showing you. All right, we do have a little bit of stuff going on down here. It looks like that's more superficial than actual surface damage. That's a little bit of a scuff. All right, that's a little indentation right there. There's a couple more right there. Otherwise, I don't see a lot. Point it out if I'm missing it. You got a little bit of stuff there. Those are more rubs than anything else. That again is more of a rub, although there's a very minor couple of pinpricks there. Another very small one there. The rest of those are more superficial. Looking at the rim, I don't really see any imperfections in the rim. That looks pretty good otherwise. Alright, now I will show you the obverse without forgetting to do so. Thank you very much. Alright, you do have a couple of little scuffs going on down here. That's more of a surface rub. Looks like you got a couple of minor hits down there at the rim. Did I see? Yeah, alright, there's a little something right there. And I think that's all kind of connected to this, frankly. Alright, so, you know, that's like a surface wound, but a very small one. And there's a couple of very small ones here. Alright. That's what she looks like, gang. Here we go. $1 start. We are live. Magol, thank you. All right, let's keep going. Let's see how nice this one is. Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, so hang on one second. So I've got that 82 tube that's right there. Let's see, where did I put the others? Oh, there they are, okay. Alright, there's another one I'm missing. Where is it? Where are you? Don't hide from me, you little bastard. Where are you? Alright, I don't know what I did with the other one, but is it back there? Nope. But I got a couple of other empty tubes. Like I say, I've opened a few of these already, so I've actually got 2 tubes of 83 that are empty. And now I've got the 82 that's empty. I have another 82. Oh, I just found it. I have another 82 that's empty. So, yeah, I've got a couple of those. Like I say, I love the Blanchard company tubes because they have a history and a reputation for being superior quality coins. And I gotta say, this particular tube has disappointed me a little bit because, you know, not that they're gross, but they're not up to the standard I've usually seen out of these Blanchard tubes. There have been, you know, situations where you're dealing with a couple of actual surface dings. Like here's another one. Right up here, I believe that breaks the surface. Those are more superficial. Well, actually, maybe that is, nope, that is a ding right there. And a very small one next to it. Another small little scratch there. Little surface contact there. And that little mark there. That I don't even really count. Most of that I don't really count. And other than that scratch and that big surface rub there, that's not a rub, that's why that one stands out. Okay. Obverse looks like this. And some very minor stuff in here. like a small little rub there. Wow, the obverse looks clean as hell. Am I missing anything on that? I don't think so. All right, here we go. $1 start. We are live. Mike, whoop, thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, Meggles, here's what I'll do for you. Miscellaneous auction. What did I do? Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't mean to hit that button. All right, get your butt back here. Whoop, that's not it either. That's it. Oh, wow, I completely screwed that shot up, didn't I? All right, hold on. How did I manage to do that? Wow. OBS has a mind of its own tonight. Look at that. Okay, then that. Whoa, now. Oh, come on, man. What have you done? Frickin' thing. Hold on. Oh, man. Why does Whatnot and now OBS decide this is the time to mess with me? That's just not cool. Not cool. Stop it. And then I can do that. All right. Now I think maybe we got that figured out. Okay. What the hell was I trying to do? Oh, that's what I was going to do. All right. I need to set up a brand new auction. Give me 1 second. That's gonna be that and that. Okay, that should do it. Now hold on 1 second. I gotta finish doing all this or Whatnot won't accept it. Hang on, I'm almost done. There we go. All right. So here's what I will do for you, Mags. Nope, not the 82. We're gonna do the 83 on empty tube. $1 start. We're live. Empty tube. 1983 Blanchard Libertads. Meggles, thank you. All right, let's take the next one off the stack, shall we? What are we looking at here? All right, you know what? That may be much more in line with what I've come to expect from Blanchard over the years. We've got a couple of small issues I'll point out in a minute, but I don't think she looks half bad. All right, let's check her out in a little more detail. as they say, let's get up close and personal. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? What? Oh, you know what? Hang on. I know what I hit. There we go. That's why all my cameras are going crazy on me. I hit the wrong button on my Stream Deck console and I changed my profile to 16:9 instead of 9:16. So none of my cameras were set up right. Alright, we do have a little bit of a hit right here. A small one there. And a little surface rub there. A couple of small little marks here. But I think that and that are about the worst of this side. Alright, how about the obverse? Looks like you've got a very slight little contact mark up there. Couple of little light brush marks there. That might be a small little dimple there. Yeah, and you got a little surface rub there. Alright, overall, I'm not upset with that coin. Alright, here we go. $1 start. We are live. 1982. Fresh from a sealed Blanchard tube. First year Libertad. Raz, thank you. Oh, it's so nice when I hit a button and my cameras display the way I expect them to. I'm also really happy I figured that out, because that would have driven me crazy and I would have been fighting it the whole rest of the stream. And ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, let's keep her going. Yeah, exactly. It's like turning down a 9.5 because she's not a 10. No kidding. I mean, these are beautiful coins. Don't misunderstand me. But, you know, the Blanchards I've seen in the past, as a matter of fact, these are not for sale. But look at these. And I showed you before that I had some Blanchard tubes from '83. Look at this. Now you've got one very small ding there, some very light surface rub there, and a couple of rubs here. Very small impact below the breast. And yeah, as I recall, that's about it on this coin. And then the obverse looks like this. Very minor surface rub there, a very small nick right there, and almost nothing else. A little bit of chatter mark going on there, a little bit of scuffing going on there. But that one got set aside because that's going to go for grading. This one came from also one of those two tubes, and again, very minor surface contact, a couple of little rub marks right there, almost no hits to the body, which is amazing, except for a little bit of a rub on the leg and the shin right there, or the thigh rather. A couple of small little marks, little hairline, small little ding at the top, and that's about it. Small little scuff there. And then the obverse looks like this. Same thing. You've got these little surface rubs, except for one minor little impact there. That's surface rub, surface rub, surface rub. So that's the second one. And then, believe it or not, last but not least, this was the one I feel has the highest potential to reach a higher grade. Because look at this little girl. Show me a problem. There's a very small little something there. There's a very small little impact there and right there. A little bit of scuffing there. Very minor hairline something there. That is probably the only real issue you're going to find on the coin. Like I say, the rest of that is more superficial than anything else. And look at the detail in the face. Look at that strike. In fact, this one demands that we get a little bit closer. All right, now check this out. For those of you that remember In Living Color, Stewart, look what I can do. But look at how beautiful that face is formed. That is a fully formed face. That is a beautiful struck coin right there. Okay, so now that I've zoomed way in, you can see that really all this is a little bit of a rub. There is a small little slice there, but otherwise that's mostly a rub. That very small little ding up there, and that very small little something right there, that is die polish marks. That doesn't bother me at all. You do have a very small little scratch, I believe, right there, depending on the light. Yes, that's the one I saw earlier. So that one breaks the surface. But that is about it. There is a small little ding on her shin. Small little scratch there. Oh, she's a beaut is right. I mean, look at that. And the obverse is just as beautiful. I mean, again. So this is what I'm used to seeing out of a Blanchard Libertad tube. The ones I'm looking at here today so far are beautiful, don't get me wrong. They're just not quite up to the same level of expectation that I have for Blanchard. Because as you've seen and I've shown you, I have opened several of their rolls and I love them, and I am always in the market for them at the right price. So, you know, the problem is they're getting harder and harder to find at the right price, which is why these, unfortunately, may be the last ones I have for the next little bit. But this, like I say, is why I am a big, huge fan of Blanchard Libertads. But real quick, look at what I can do with this one. Look at the toning on this little girl. This one is also not for sale, guys. I'm sorry. This one's also going for grading. But there are also very few imperfections on that coin, not to mention the exquisite toning. I mean, you can't tell me that this green and orange and blue and lavender and yellow and rust and all of this stuff going on in the fields of this coin is not absolutely gorgeous. Okay? And then the obverse is basically blast white with a little bit of toning going on around the top, but nothing like the other side. And there are, you know, a couple of little chatter marks here and there. But I have a feeling, I don't know, you guys help me out. What do you think this would grade? Give me your estimate before I give you mine. Somebody shout out in the chat what you think this coin might grade if submitted like to PCGS or CAC. Forget about the toning. I just mean the grade itself on the coin. Anybody? Nobody? I think that's a strong 66. Possibly a little better. And for those of you that say, nah, there's too much damage on that coin to be a 67, well, check this out. All right, where did I put it? Is that it? Yep, that's it. All right, this, my friends, is glare. All right, look at what's going on the face. Look at what's going on in the field right there in front of her face. Look at what's going on her chin, near her lip, on her neck, up there under the U. Now, granted, this is a Morgan dollar, and that's obviously a different coin and has a different history and is way, way, way older than a Libertad. But there are marks on this coin. And PCGS gave it a 67. Okay? So don't let a couple of scuff marks on the surface of the coin convince you that it's not a high-grade coin, because it very well still could be. It may not be. There are no guarantees, unfortunately. But it could be. So, all right, let's go back to looking at this one. And this one is for sale. Looks like we got a little bit of a hit over there by the A, above the A. And on the obverse, that doesn't look terrible. There is one ding up there above the I. That's just dotting the I. That's all that is. All right, let's get this little lady on her turntable and back under the harsh glare of light. Wow, that's pretty. All right, so yeah, you do have this unfortunate little impact mark there. Very small one over here, and then these are mostly surface rubs. Looks like you got another little chatter mark here. No 83 prospector, I'm sorry. Those are more hairline than anything else. Well, no, actually that one's got a little bit of a gouge in it. Alright, well, this one has, looks like she was ridden wet, or ridden hard and put away wet. Got a little bit of a scratch almost there. A little bit of a contact mark there. Not seeing a lot of other imperfections, just these two right here and this one right here. Yeah, otherwise she doesn't look too bad at all, huh? Alright, here we go, gang. $1 start. We are live. And Mike takes it down. Thank you, Mike. All right. And the next one on the stack. Can we get one that looks a little more pristine, maybe? I see a couple of scratches over there already. And she doesn't look half bad, but man, again, not up to the Blanchard standard I'm used to. Disappointing a little. Not gonna lie. I mean, they're still beautiful coins, don't misunderstand me. And, you know, Blanchard has definitely held up the standard as far as mint luster and overall eye appeal. But when you've got a couple of little issues like that and like that, That's just unfortunate. Small little rim hit. Couple of rub marks on the body. But yeah, that and these are the problem. Alright. Obverse is looking like this. And surface rub, light contact, little bit of a scratch. Very small little impact right there and right there. Small rim hit. Alright, I think that's it. Missing anything? No, I don't think so. Alright. Here we go. 1982 Blanchard Libertad. $1 start. We're live. Mag, thank you. Alright, these have got to get out of my way. Hold on one second. This is driving me up a tree over here, so let me fix it. Alright, there we go. Alright. And the camera went nuts. Really, camera? Really, camera? Can we fix ourselves? Really? Why do we keep going back to you when that's not the focus I want to fix? And that's the focus I want to fix. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey, Thaddeus. How you doing, my friend? Alright, well, you got a little bit of a double hit right there next to the 1. And I think that's just a mark. I don't think that's a hit down at the bottom. We'll check it out in a second. Alright, let's see what we're looking at here. So we've got some surface rub here. We do have the railroad tracks going on right there. And honestly, there's a very small one there, a very small line there. Otherwise, that doesn't look half bad. It looks like that's about it. Small little line there. Who's your daddy? Great name. Obverse looks like this. And very light contact marks, very light contact marks. And I'm not seeing too much else otherwise. Just some light contact. That's a spot, that's not a hit. Alright, looks pretty good to me. You guys are the final judge. Let's see what you want to do with this little lady. $1 start. We are live. Thank you, Mike. Okay, what do we got left? I think I have 5 left. Why does it say 4? That's alright. No worries. I can live with the difference. Alright, what are we looking at on this little girlie? Oh my goodness, did we actually find one with a very nice looking surface? Up there may be a small ding up there above her head. But this one may actually live up to Blanchard standards. Look at this little girl. Alright, that definitely demands some additional scrutiny over here. And let's see if we can find anything we really don't like. That's a very light surface mark. That, I think, is also a very light surface mark. There's a very small ding there, a very small ding there, a very small ding there, and some hairlines. That's a ding right there. That's a very small mark there. And another surface contact mark there. Some hairlines here. Those could be dye polish. Hard to say. But there's not a lot I don't like on that coin. A couple of minor marks, that's it. Obverse, same thing, minor surface contact. That might be a little bit of a scratch. Nope, that one goes away, so that's more surface. Or does it pick up on the other side and show depth? Alright, that's a little bit below the surface, not a lot. Those are superficial. That is superficial. There is a little bit of a line right there through the end. A little bit of a hit under the end. A little bit of something, something. Overall, that's not a bad looking coin. And this is among the best we've seen out of this tube. So I'll let her spin a little bit longer and we'll run her out $1. Alright, here we go. We are live. Buck and go. Cassim, thank you. All right, getting down to it. We got 4 left. System is telling me I got 3 left, so maybe I'll keep one of these. We'll see. Alright, that is not a bad looking coin there. I think those are a couple of very small surface hits on the left. Otherwise, that surface looks remarkably clean. And over here, ooh, that's pretty. That was the last show. As far as I know, nobody's canceled on this one, Justo, but thank you for pointing that out. Because I could have easily forgotten. But no, that was the last show. He's already taken care of. I accepted his cancel request. Alright, there's a very small little hit there. Otherwise, that is surface mark. There's 2 little hits. One small one there, one small one there. Otherwise, that's dye polish marks. Dye polish marks. Alright, she does have a little hit on her arm there. Otherwise, I don't see a lot I don't like. Very nice. Alright, what do we got here? surface mark. There might be something in there. Yeah, I think that has a little depth. We'll know when it comes around the other side for the light. It's definitely surface contact. All right, there's a small little hit, more little hit. Surface. What does this look like over here? Yeah, those are both, well, one of those is below the surface. That doesn't look half bad. That one's a little deeper. Got a little small contact mark there. All right, doesn't look half bad overall, I think. Couple of minor issues, but you know, for a girl her age, she looks pretty damn good. All right, here we go. 82 Libertad, buck and go. We're live. Mike, thank you. All right. Last couple, everybody. So if you want one, this is your opportunity. Oh, that's interesting. Now it adjusts my inventory and it's got the right number. All right, figure that out. I sure as hell can't. Oh, Whatnot, you crack me up. Go home, Whatnot, you're drunk. See, this is why I love my microscope. With the lag that they've introduced with the new way we have to interface with OBS, it's almost impossible to get it where you want it and then hold it there, because every time you think it's there, it's not. So then you move and adjust it, and then there's another little delay. It's like the most frustrating thing in the world. But that's all right. That's my problem. All right, we do have a little scuff mark there. Another small one there. A little small micro one there. That's more of a surface rub than anything else. Same with that. Very small rim nick. Those aren't bad at all. That's a little deeper right there. That's probably the worst one. That's a little micro one down there. All right. And the obverse looks like this. All right, we do have some unfortunate little scuffing right there. It looks like another one there. Nothing terribly serious, but it's there. Another small little rim neck over here. One over here. All right, gang, here we go. We got 3 left. If you want them, now's your chance. $1 start. We are live. Megleton, thank you. Now I know why you wanted a 2. You're trying to fill it all by yourself, man. Nice work. All right, last 2. Here we go. Oh, and now my inventory is messed up again. Oh, you know, Whatnot, figure yourself out, will you please? Oh, did we find one that's really only got one small little ding? Alright, we'll check her out in a minute. Look at this. That doesn't look half bad. Look at that. Okay, there we go. I think we may have found our star for this tube. Let's see what we think. Alright, that is very superficial. That doesn't bother me. That's superficial. I thought that was a little deeper. There may be something in there. Let's wait till that comes around. Hang on. Alright, there is a very small little pinprick right there. That's what I saw. That doesn't bother me. That's surface rub. That's surface rub. Alright, there is a little ding on the one itself. Surface rub. Surface rub. Surface rub. Except for one little pinhole there. The rest of that is all just surface contact marks. God, that's beautiful. Okay. Obverse. Can we hold up the quality on this one? No, of course. We got a nice little scratch right there. But again, not deep, not huge, but it's there. I point that stuff out. This is all surface rub, surface rub, surface rub. That's the only break in the surface I see. That's all surface contact. All right. We are about to hit start on this one. So apparently, as far as whatnot is concerned, this is my last one. And we are live. The funny thing is, I do have one more. Oh, and it's got some toning on it. Oh, it's the last one. Oh! I may have to keep that one. See? It worked out. Megalton, thank you. Let me show this one off. I can't quite tell how extensive the toning is. I mean, it doesn't look extensive. It's got a little bit on it. But it looks really pretty. Hang on. Alright, tell you what I will do for you, Megs. Which one of these do I want to sell? Alright, I think I'll sell you this one. I want to keep one of each for me. Alright, so here is, you know what? Here's what I'm going to have to do. First off, let me show off this coin before I get too excited. Look at the color on that side. Oof. Alright, that'll go on the scope in a minute. Hang on. Alright, that doesn't look half bad at all right there. Okay, let's look at her. Alright, so we do have a little mark here. Those are surface. There's a little surface mark there. A small little indentation there that goes into the one. But look at the color on that. Just beginning to come out. Small little pinprick there. Little pinhole there. I can't tell if that's a mark or a ding. I think that's a combination of both. But man, that's a pretty coin. Look at that. And then, yeah, you got a little bit of toning going on right there as well. Those are mostly surface rub. I'm not seeing really anything that breaks the surface. What, maybe right there? Yeah, that one barely breaks the surface right there. That one's not. That's a surface contact. That one might be a little something. Let the light hit it in a second and we'll know more. Do you show any depth as you come around to that side? Yeah, there's a little bit of depth there. It's not deep, but it does have a little bit of depth to it. So, all right. But let's do this. Let me go ahead. Oh, shoot. I've got to start another auction. Hang on. I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, whoop. That's not how you spell it. There you go. That works. Okay, boom. Yeah. Now, let's get that. Okay. And I think we're good. All right, we're good. So we are now going to auction an empty tube. Grape nuts are neither grapes nor nuts. Discuss. Excellent topic. Thank you, Justo. At least somebody got my reference. My goodness, guys. All right. $1 start. We are live. Empty tube, 1982 Blanchard Libertads. There you go, Megs. Oh, I'm looking for your bag and I set it right here next to me. That's almost funny. Although it's probably more sad than anything else, but I'll live. All right, I'm gonna hang on to this last one, guys. Maybe we run that one next week. I don't know. All right, so 1990s was the best SNL. You're absolutely right. I've been watching it literally since the early days. I've been watching SNL longer than I care to admit. I'm old. When it started in 1975, I was there. And my mother was really cool. She let me stay up late to watch it. And then we had a great laugh, and then I had to go to bed. All right, if there's any interest in these, I can definitely run one of these little bad boys. Except that not with that kind of light, I can't. There you go. Now you can actually see it. Oh my goodness, look at that. How nice is the image on that microscope? And you've got your assay and individual serial number and the whole 9 yards. So here's what I'll do. I will start this one. You know what? I'll start it at 1:15. We are live. All right, no worries. Would you like me to run a couple more Barber half dollars? Or are we good for the day? I got big stuff coming in over the next week. Got a brand new microscope that's going to even upgrade this one, as nice as it is. Okay, you got it, Justo. I've also got a brand new desktop computer build that is just massive and kick-ass. Can't wait for it to get here because it will literally run circles around my current laptop, which struggles mightily to get all of this done at one time. All right, so this is an 1897. That's actually not a bad looking coin. I do not, Buckeye. I've got a few of the Bison ones left, but the Eagles sold out last week. All right, I will put this on here briefly. I won't spend a lot of time because obviously this is a circulated coin, but this is an 1897. Grade-wise, I would probably call that at least a good 6. Solid good 4, possibly a good 6. Reverse actually doesn't look terrible, although there's like a little bit of crud going on over here. But that's basically a full rim. You've got a little bit of shield, a little bit of eagle feathers. Overall, not a horrible looking coin. So 1897 Philly. We will go... Whoop, not that one. There we go. Buck and go. We're live. Justo, thank you. Get in my belly. You know what, Justo, that's your first purchase in this show, isn't it? So that I'm not going crazy. Well, no, it's not. Never mind. Well, no, mate, that's not it either. Hang on. There you are. I got you. I know. I'm sorry. I got you. I got too many bags going over here. We're good. That pisses me off every time I do it. Now, straighten my camera out. Come on, man. There we go. All right, randomly grab another one here. What are we looking at? 1901. All right, that's maybe a good 4. That may be an AG3. Yeah, we're missing some of the rim and part of the motto. I would not go above AG3 on that one, most likely. Possibly a good 4, but that's really pushing it. All right, here we go. 1901P, buck and go. We're live. Mike, thank you. All right, I'll do a couple more of these and we'll call it a show. How's that? Come on, camera. Seriously, why? Just why? Thank you. Goodness. 1902. Philly. Alright, that one's actually half decent. We're missing some of the rim at the bottom, so I probably would not go above good 4 on this one, which is a shame because the obverse is pretty nice. You got decent ear, a little bit of hair, a little bit of wreath, you got a decent eye socket, full rim. Not a bad looking coin otherwise. Alright. 02 Philly, buck and go. We're live. I don't know why I'm struggling to hold this thing still when all I gotta do is put it right there. You'll figure it out, Adam. One of these days. Justo, thank you, my friend. All right, we'll do 2 more. What do we got here? We got a 1904. And this one's also a Philly. Alright, this one's a little bit more torn up on the back. Here's what we're looking at. Obverse, probably a solid AG3, borderline good 4. The reverse is where you lose it. You're missing part of the motto. You're missing most of the rim on the right side. You do still have a little bit of motto on the banner, which is kind of interesting. But you're missing enough of the rim that's going to be an AG3 as far as I'm concerned. So here we go. Buck and go. We're live. Sorry, Mike. I thought you were going to get that one for $1. You had it for a minute. Thank you, sir. All right. There you are. We will do one more and call it a night, and I will go process my orders and get them ready to ship out first thing Monday morning. Oh, my pleasure, Mike. All right, there we go. 1900 with a little bit of character to it. And that probably is also an AG3. Borderline good for. Ooh, now that's interesting. You've actually got a full rim. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of comparing. So let's do it this way. All right, why did I lose my window? Come on. Where did you go? Hold on, I got it. I got it. I got it. Come on, there you go. Right? There we go. I knew you could do it, you little rat, you. And then I gotta fix you. Alright, that should do it. Alright, then if I get that out of the way. Alright, so eye socket wise, I think it's pretty close. I've got a little bit more ear, a little bit more hair and wreath. I've definitely got a fully defined rim where that one below is not quite as good. Alright, the real key on these coins is the reverse, and this is where I think I shine a little bit. Because for a good 4 down below, I mean, look at that. The whole rim is almost shot. At least around the top. You're missing some of the motto. On my coin, you've got a full rim. Even the little ridges and ripples on the inside of that rim. You've got a little bit of motto, just like you do down below. About the same amount of shield. And I've got just a shade more feather detail, but not much. But more importantly, I've got a full rim. So I'm definitely a solid good 4 on this one. So you guys can make your own determination what you want to do with it. We are live right now, 1900p. This will be my last auction for this show, gang. Mike, thank you, my friend. All right, everybody. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, even those of you who just came in to watch, didn't make a purchase. There is no obligation. I enjoy having you all in my stream regardless. Like I say, I've got some great stuff coming up over the next week. Really looking forward to getting my new microscope and getting it dialed in. Looking even more so to my new desktop workhorse, which will really help me elevate my game. Get all my cameras on separate channels. There won't be as much lag and delay. Get my beautiful little microscope over here directly into an HDMI capture card. It's going to be fun. So Follow me, bookmark my upcoming shows. Much like Justo just said, thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Hey, Lo-Fi, better late than never. No worries, my friend. Appreciate you. Have a great week. I will see you all next Saturday. There is a small chance I may jump online during the week just to play with the new setup. But I don't know about that yet. I'm not set on whether or not I'm actually going to do that. Depends on how long it takes me to get it set up and how much I like it. So, all right, gang, take care. I will see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.